would you say women who can't find a mate that they're attracted to are a kind of incel?
Right, so I get asked this all the time. It's funny whenever you pick a topic to research like incels, one of the first questions is, what about the femcels? Well, for my study, I could only find 9 femcels, and I would like to maybe do a femcel study one day. And my thinking on this has evolved somewhat. Initially, I would kind of agree with the incel line that they would say there's no such thing as a real femcel in the same way as an incel, because most women can go out and get sex or a relationship if they want. It might not be the sex or love or relationship that they want, but they can get something. And for incels, I think this is a real failure of cross-sex mind reading, because for incels, they kind of look at it in a very black and white way. And perhaps a lot of men generally do this too, that they think something is better than nothing. For men, sex is like pizza. There's good pizza and there's pizza. There's no bad pizza, really. But for women, that's not the case. And I think we're underestimating just how much women don't like having sex with men they don't like having sex with. It's like repellent to them. They have high disgust sensitivity, or low. They're like it's really repugnant, that idea to have sex with someone you don't want, and it's actually cost inflicting. So something is not better than nothing always for a woman, and that's kind of a failure of cross-sex mind reading, I think, on the behalf of incels.
Louise Perry, in her book, she talks about this prostitute that was working, or I think it was a prostitute rather than an escort. I don't know what the difference is. Escort's just like nicer. And she said that one of the first skills that you need to develop as a prostitute is to not throw up when you're having sex with a client, because of you are having to give yourself an out-of-body experience to detach the emotions from what's going on to you physically.
Yeah, that actually, I listened to that, and that gave me an idea for a study, because there's another evolutionary psychologist called Hannah Bradshaw, and at a recent conference, she presented something on disgust that showed that when you have control over your environment, then your disgust is quite high, sensitive. Whereas if you don't have control over your environment, you downregulate your disgust. So take, for example, the pig farmer. We're a family of pig farmers in my house. And if you're working on a pig farm, you don't really have much choice to leave. So you kind of get used to the smell. Whereas if you visit a pig farm for the first time, you might be like, oh, God, get me out of here. And the fact that you can get out would maybe make you think, oh, okay, I got to leave. This disgust is high. So I think an idea for a study might be to examine whether sex workers who have more control over the clientele that they see, do they have a higher level of sensitivity of disgust? Because they can control it, so they don't have to. Whereas those who are really like, a prostitute or a sex worker who maybe doesn't have really that much control, they probably downregulate their disgust mechanism, kind of like Louise talks about there.
Dude, that's fascinating. The pig farmer theory of female sexual disgust.
My father would be absolutely delighted if I wove pig farming into my theories somehow. I can see him now.
I knew that all of those hours on the pig farm was going to work out when it came to your PhD. What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press here for a selection of the best clips from the podcast over the last few weeks. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.